Hello, the lady girls are here. Do you know money has actually left the offices and it's in the gutters? What do I mean? You know that mantra, go to school, get a job, get money, and spend it. It's not washing anymore. There is nobody. There's literature out there. There is nobody who has achieved financial freedom through wages and salary. So yes, education has a role to play, but life is beyond our certificates. Have you discovered that many people are making living out of not what they went to school to be trained on? Have you noticed that? They went to school to specialize in something. They have a first degree, master's, PhD, whatever. And yet, what is actually making their lives a living is not in those certifications, but in something else they have learned along the way. So if we are financially struggling, it's not our employer's fault. What I want to bring to your notice is money has actually left the offices. It's in the gutters. Many of the things we shy away, we are ashamed of. We can travel outside to other countries to go and do those works. But in our space, we don't want to do them because we think they are below us. So you are schooled, educated, first degree, masters, and you work in an office, and you look down upon somebody else who is selling wache, porridge, any other thing. And because you think you are highly educated, it's normal for you to, get anything at the end of the month. Whereby critically, those people on the streets that we think they are in the gutters because they are not highly educated are making living. Have you noticed? So yes, I only passed by to draw attention to the fact that if we are financially struggling, it's about time we put strategic planning in motion. Because nobody will attain financial freedom with salary. What extra can you do? What is your game plan? If you already hit 30, 40, and you haven't put any strategic plan in motion, then my soul is bleeding for you. Because life is becoming expensive. You can't rely on only your salary. If you are not married yet, and you alone, you are struggling to foot your bills, pay your rent, and it still hasn't occurred to you that when you marry, all these things would increase. So you should start planning that chances are financially you would get stuck along the way. What extra can you do? A lot of people are into farming today, that you look down upon them because you wear your suit and get to the offices, but they are getting more. What significance can you achieve? What contribution can you make to this universe and get paid for it? I'm not talking about quick money, because that would equally go away just like it came, but a plan in place to change your financial status, such that in the next 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 10 years in a row, this will begin servicing your life. Have you considered that? You live in a country that your social security is nothing to write home about. And even if you're in a country that your social security, you are thinking that will take care of you in old age, what about your dreams? What about your aspirations, your goals, the things bubbling in your soul? Something you can begin today that you will never have to retire from, because eventually that will become an aspect of you, who you are. Your work. We take pride in our jobs. What about our work? And our work is who we are, our vision, our purpose, our contribution to this universe. And once we attain significance, money would also follow. So if all we're thinking about is trading our time for money, what happens when we are not able to trade in that time? And the money stops and we retire. A lot of people on retirement today, and they are wasting away because they never put anything in place for them to continue today that they have retired. So they are there, highly capable, with awesome brains, ideas, working institutions, and yet they are wasting away because they didn't put anything in place that today that they have retired from their jobs, they could have continued with this work that they have already started. Should that also be our story? Can't we learn from other people's experiences? What can you start today that in the next 10 years, in the next 5 years, in the next 20 years before you retire, that would bring you so much fulfillment that no job that you've ever worked in could give you that fulfillment? This year we are hoping and praying for a better life. How would a better life come if we don't do things better and differently? So I only passed by to remind you that money has left the offices. They are in the gutters, and your gutter might be different from my gutter. It's left with us to dig deeper into these gutters, to find how we can be productive, not just being busy. What service can you render? What goods can you provide to serve a purpose, to serve a problem, to service a problem, to solve a problem, to bring a solution in a service that you be paid for? And because this is your work and this is who you are, based on your gifting, your talents, the businesses that is bubbling in your soul, you don't have to retire from these things. You can do them until you take your last breath. Think about these things. Everybody stands the chance of financially making an impact. But I'm not talking about quick money. I'm talking about our contribution to this universe that would equally service us financially. You've worked for people, but you can also work for yourself. That becomes your legacy, your memory, your memory you build, your contribution to this life. With all your dreams, with all your aspiration, your brain is like a walking institution. Will you just dress up and go to a job and come back and sleep and the whole year passes by? What can you put in place today that you can nurture, feed, grow it, develop it, so you deploy that into the universe, and in exchange, your life transforms? Because it's when we are able to be relevant that will equally be paid, be serviced out of our relevance. Money has left the offices. If you are thinking of financial freedom, you can't depend on salary anymore. The things we are looking down upon, our gifts, our talents, are what people are harnessing, and we are paying them and celebrating them for. You are equally capable. You are a working institution. Think about these things. Much love and blessings.